Here's a suburban bar named Chasers. I showed you right up the street, there's a Motel 6 in that. Anyone that gets overserved, they can have a deal with the local hotel. They can have a deal, Chasers, with the local hotel. And you can get a discount if you come from Chasers and get a room at the Motel 6. So anyone that's been overserved, Chasers says, we'll call you a cab and you'll get a discount on the room staying at the Motel 6 right up the street. Leave your car here. In the morning, after you're sober up, you can come back and your car will be in our parking lot at Chasers, and you can pick it up in the morning after you sleep it off at the Motel 6, and the rates are like $47 or less. They can strike a deal, maybe $40 for the night. And you go from Chasers, you take a little Uber or taxi or Lyft right up the street, short cab ride, and you sleep it off, and then you come back in the morning and you can pick up your car at Chasers. So, a way to protect their patrons. So bars can set up deals for people that have been overserved with local budget hotels. With local budget hotels, bars can set up deals for their patrons to go to a local budget hotel if they live a distance and say they drove, and they can just go to a local budget hotel. So there's another way to protect themselves and protect clients. And what's $40, right? I mean, that's not a lot for most people. It's a lot of money for me, but most people, $40, not a big deal, right? For a nice, clean hotel, you get a nice, clean room and everything, and then you can shower, and, obviously you didn't bring a change of clothes, but still you get to shower off, and you can shower and shave and all that in the hotel room, put back in the same clothes, and then go pick up your car, go home, and go change. So you get a nice, clean hotel room for like $47. I mean, and it saves you a DUI, it saves your reputation and everything else. So bars should think about working with local hotels. All bars should think about working with local hotels and saying, you've been overserved and we'll hold your keys here and your car can stay on premise and you can go to the local hotel. And upon entry, you read the things, Basically, we don't let people who are overserved drive off property. So part of coming into the bar, you can't drive your car. So we have to breathalyze you to allow you to drive the car. They can make that a requirement, breathalyze. And so, you got to take a breathalyzer before you can get back in your car. And if you're overserved, then if there's still time, you can sit here and stop drinking and move to non-alcoholics and try it again. And if not, you can go to the local hotel, or if you're close right around the corner, then you can take an Uber or cab or Lyft right to your house, and you can come back and pick up your car in the morning. So why don't they protect their patrons? So, protect them. So work out deals with local economy hotels where people can just stay the night if they're overserved and, go home in the morning or afternoon, depending. So anyways, because most hotels check out, so about 11, you can get a late checkout sometimes up to 2 o'clock, up to 2 p.m., a late checkout. So, again, they can work out deals with the local hotels, the local drinking establishments and that. And this way, the hotel gets business and the client doesn't hurt anyone, not even themselves. Work out a deal. Right here is a Holiday Inn Express. It's a bowling alley. If it serves booze, they can work out a deal with that. And the bowling alley can have all kinds of parties. The bowling alley can have parties, and the people in the party stay at the hotel. So you go at the bowling alley, you have a big party and a bash, and it has alcohol and then you go to the hotel. Or how about a date with your girlfriend, and it's something local, but it's a little different. You go bowling and you have drinks, and then you get a room at the Holiday Inn Express. I took Jen. We're local. We went out in Schaumburg, and then I took her to a local hotel in Schaumburg, and the hotel had a jacuzzi tub and in our room, and we basically went into the jacuzzi together, El Natural. But we had a good time. We went out to the bar, and then we went back to the local hotel in Schaumburg, and the hotel had a jacuzzi tub in the room. So it was a nice little adventure between the two of us. We had a nice night out, and we could have just went home. At that time, she was still living in Schaumburg, and I was on Logan Boulevard in Chicago, but it was convenient. We just went to the local hotel. I thought it'd be something different. Went out and then went to a local hotel instead of going home. So it turned out to be a very nice night together. So anyways, so think about doing these adventures and, going out to a restaurant and going to just a local hotel for the night. And then, make dinner in a hotel, or dinner and bowling, or dinner bowling in a hotel, all part of, a night out. So something nice, right? So think about that for, a little local adventure. And, you can have birthday parties at the Wiener Circle, and which is coming up here, the Wiener Circle. So they can do all kinds of little parties. They have an outside area. This would be more summer, but the pool is right over here, Whaling Pool. This pool is shaped as a cross. Yeah, as a little kid, this pool is shaped like a cross, Whaling Pool. I love this pool. And they used to go tobogganing and, sledding on the hills over here. And I love coming to this park. I spent a lot of time in parks as kids, different ones. This one is where I went for outdoor swimming here in Chicago. So I live on Irving and Elston, and I would come up here by myself, not with a group of friends. Sometimes my brother and sister, I think, went here, but we didn't go together. And this pool is shaped like a cross, but right up here is the Wiener Circle. And so they can have a pool party, and then afterwards, after the pool party, have a reception at the Wiener Circle. So the Wiener Circle can work out something with the pool. They have a little, pool party. You're out at the pool having a good time and so on. And then after you're done swimming, you come over for the meal at Wiener Circle. So all kinds of sweet 16 you can do, or, here's the Wiener Circle right here. So you can see the two dogs, and you can do this, but so can all these other places work out things with the pool and do pool for... I didn't want to do that. That's me. But let me turn back to outside. So these Windy City, this burrito place house right here, and McDonald's. And so they can do parties with the local pool. And now winter's coming up. How about ice arenas? That park right back there, they could build an outdoor ice arena, and you can have all kinds of skating parties, and then come back, and here's Esquire Motel. And so you can have a little outdoor pool party, Wiener Circle, and then you get to stay at the little hotel, and you can play, different board games and that in one of the rooms, or if they have a lounge area, play board games. And so these little hotels can work out deals with the little restaurants, even the burrito place can have some kind of party, and then you stay at the hotel, and then you go in the morning, you leave the hotel and you go to the burrito place for breakfast burritos and so on and so forth, so that night you have the party there, and then you go to the hotel and play board games, then you wake up in the morning and you go back to the burrito place for breakfast. So these local places can work out events with the little local hotels. And so the hotels and these little bars and restaurants and that can do all kinds of events with the hotel, and it's very cheap. Think about it. I mean, doing it at these places, it's a great way to have a nice event and do it very budget friendly. And these places will get business they otherwise never would, right? And when we went with my mom and we put her urn in, we had a ceremony there, burying the urn on top of my brother's plot, I think, maybe my father's plot. And then we went over to a restaurant, and it was a pizza place. So we had a, reception dinner afterwards. But you can go to the gravesite, and, the family goes to the gravesite on Halloween and respects the grave, and then you have a reception meal at a local restaurant, and then you can stay at the local hotel. And it is something that you can do as a family that's, respecting the dead, and then, do a fellowship and, spend a night at the local area, something out. And so something to build the community, right? So anyways, you have these, all these little local hotels and little restaurants and that. Talk to the Chicago Restaurant Association. I think the Chicago Restaurant Association is awesome, and if you're part of that, think about also being part of the National Restaurant Association and the International Restaurant Association. And bars should be part of this, so it should be, bars and restaurants should be able to be part of the Chicago Restaurant Association. And then they can have function that focuses on pubs and bars and, clubs and so on, but it's all part of the hospitality industry. And so even restaurants and hotels can be part of the Chicago Restaurant Association and the National and International Restaurant Association. Yeah, those hotel restaurants, they can be part of the Chicago Restaurant Association, the National Restaurant, the International Restaurant Association. So think about it. They can have these, all these small little local places. Chicago has a lot of bars and restaurants. I think it is one of the top cities for, these places. But bars, I sold a lot of non-alcoholic. When I worked at Baja, I drank a lot of Perrier and Diet Coke. So then I drank the juices and so on. And so I drank a lot of mocktails. I did not drink at that time, but most of the time I drank Perrier and non-alcoholic. And I had an occasional drink here and there. But it's a good time. So people say you can't. There's a lot of people. It's about going and socializing. And you don't have to drink to go to a bar. I went to a lot of nightclubs for a long time. Since I stopped drinking at the beginning of the 2000s, I went to a lot of nightclubs, and I bought Fiji mountain water at the Paris Club and so on and so forth. Fiji water. So I used to buy that. I think it was $5 a bottle or something like that. But I bought a lot of bottled water. Yeah, bottled water, or sometimes I have a diet soda. But a lot of bottled water. So I don't get it. I went out with a lot of people and I drank a lot of bottles of water. So, you can go to a bar and still socialize. It doesn't mean you have to drink. So they should get out of that it's not drinking. As long as you're drinking something, and I was buying bottled water, they had no problem. And he was a bartender at the Paris, and he was cool to me. We had a great rapport. And I would buy other people alcoholic beverages, my friends that drank. But he had no problem. I bought, bottled water, and I tip well. So he's selling me a drink, whether it was an alcoholic drink or a non-alcoholic drink, he didn't care. And I tip well, and he knew I was formerly in the industry and that. And so, it was good hanging out. And he'd take care of me, and he makes sure they took care of me, the VIP at the door and everything. So remember, it's number one thing. You go to these places, it's about socializing, about going and watching the event and having some food and having some beverage. And not all the time does it have to involve alcohol. So most of for 20-something years, it didn't involve any alcoholic beverages. And I went extensively to all kinds of bars and nightclubs all over the place. From California to New York to Florida, so on. And I never drank. So, again, it's about socializing and having a good time. So, I don't get it. So go out, have a good time. You don't have to have an alcoholic beverage. And if you want to, that's fine. And I gave you all kinds of ideas where it helps the local community using the local motels and hotels and doing all these types of events. So here's a pool place. You can go and shoot pool. They shot Minnesota Fats. The Chicago, I forget what the movie was, but right here, The Hustle was shot here at Chris Billiards. And so it's famous, and you go upstairs, and that's where The Hustle was shot, the pool movie. And go up there, and like here, I get terrorized. There's a cop that's aggravated driving, but hey, c'est la vie. Cops, they turn a blind eye to everything. I don't care if you have a handicap sticker, it's still aggravated driving. So you can't come to a hostile stop. It's considered aggravated driving, and you just threatened me. Just like I threw a punch in front of your face, right? If I swung a punch and I missed, but wouldn't you still think that's threatening you? If I took a punch at you and I missed, but I swung at you, wouldn't you consider that threatening? That's what that car just did to me by stopping very fast. Aggravated driving. They just threatened me. Just like throwing a punch in front of my face and missing. He didn't hit me, but he still threatened me with his vehicle. So it is no different. So I don't know how these people do what they do, but again, that is the wicked. And so the wicked should be punished. So I like good times. I think of every way to have them, but I don't like speeding through the streets of Chicago. I'm going 25 and they're speeding. Oh, and they have a handicap sticker. They're impaired, right? They're impaired, but they're speeding. So if you're speeding and you have a handicap sticker, it should be even a worse punishment. Truly, if you're impaired and you're speeding, like DUI, right? It's impaired driving. So if you have a handicap sticker and you're speeding, now it's impaired driving. So the ticket should be worse for handicapped people. It should be worse for handicapped people because they have less ability to stop the car properly, to react properly. So it's impaired driving, right? So they should get a ticket worse. They should get a ticket worse, not lighter. Their punishment should be more severe. More severe. So, anyways,